Hey everyone, Tutor Brian here. This is a typical day for me, starting with getting up. Right now I'm trying the sleeping on the floor thing as I move furniture around. So far it feels like something that you had to get used to. At first it was kind of a rigid feeling of laying down on a hard surface. Even though this is carpet, it still feels hard on the bones, as if I was laying on wood or tile or something like that. It's just a sheet and a comforter. But after a few days, it starts to become normal. Usually I try to get up 11 a.m. at the latest, based on the schedule I have, revolving around work that is. Then begin hydrating, drinking water, because overnight I get kind of thirsty and dry mouth and dehydrated. If I have a lot of time, I usually prefer to try to front load a lot of calories in the first meal of the day. So maybe a packet of oatmeal, 2 packets cereal, a banana. But when I'm in a rush, I opt for a banana and a Gatorade protein bar. This flavor, cookies and cream, is pretty good. The funny thing is they actually make a decent protein bar, but their protein shake drink is not that tasty. So I usually prefer Muscle Milk protein shake drink. That's what I bring for the break time at work. Technically it's a lunch break, but I don't really eat as much during the lunch break as other co-workers. I just have a Muscle Milk, maybe another banana, something quick, easily to digest, and so I can continue working without any stomach issues. Then I go over to where I keep my phone here, and I call in sick. Just kidding. No, I actually just call to do a survey / questionnaire for COVID reasons. That way I can enter the building at work and I won't be locked out of the turnstiles when I scan my badge. So every day I have to do the survey questionnaire for COVID. It's only like 4 questions. Are you feeling sick today? Have you been near someone with COVID? Are you waiting a COVID test? Things of that nature. And then once that is done, it's easier to, it's the only way to get into the building actually, as now the temperature checks have ceased and we only do the survey for COVID. Depending on how many pit stops I make on the way, I prefer to leave the apartment no later than 12:15 p.m. Sometimes I leave earlier. Just depends on how quickly I get ready. Right now it's 11:38, so just under 40 minutes from wake up time, leaving the apartment. Before I leave the parking garage, I check to make sure I have the things I need for the day in my work bag there, which is basically just a reusable shopping bag. I put things I need for the work itself, and then some extra things like the water bottle that I'm using, which is just a repurposed Powerade bottle. Some of my coworkers, they bring large reusable water bottles, such as for sporting or camping, something that can contain a lot of water, because we have water fountains that can refill reusable bottles easily. And we also have ice machines too, so some people like they like their water to be very cold, because at work it can get really hot. So hydration is absolutely, it's not just encouraged, it is kind of like they push you to stay hydrated in the safety training, so that you can do your job normally and not be hindered by dehydration. And I have my quote lunch muscle milk drink. I don't eat a lot during the work hours anyways, so when I have my 20 minutes or so lunch break, I eat and usually just rest a little bit. And the most important thing is the ID badge. I just tucked it away in the corner, just maintain some discretion. But without an ID badge, you can't get into the building at the entrances. And besides the normal PPE requirements for COVID-19, the mask, we have other things that we need for the job, depending on what area of the manufacturing building you work in. So everyone has standard requirements: steel toe shoes, and then besides that, there is the protective eyewear everywhere on the factory floor. You have to wear the protective eyewear here. Some people have ones that are custom made with prescription lenses. Some people have ones that are larger so that they can wear the regular glasses underneath. I just have just the standard safety glasses, and also reusable earplugs, because it gets pretty loud in the fabrication areas, all the pressing machines and so on. So having earplugs can drown out. Once I dropped out, my earplugs fell out of my ear, and I just noticed the difference immediately, how loud it gets. It also makes communication somewhat difficult. You kind of have to yell at each other to talk. But the earplugs are required. Some people use reusable ones. I have a pair in my bag of reusable ones, just as a backup, and I get these from a dispenser each day that you just turn a handle and then they pop out of the dispenser. And I keep a few in my pocket extra, because they do fall out kind of easily if you bump into something, or as you're adjusting your mask, the earplugs will pop out. Other requirement: arm sleeves with the little hole in it to prevent cuts, and then the protective gloves, of course, for those handling different forms of sheet metal and so on. The gloves are really important so you don't cut your hand, just as the arm sleeves are important so you don't cut any part of your forearm, elbow, wrists. So the gloves go over the sleeves, they go all the way to the hand, and the thumb goes through the loop, and then the gloves go over that. For me, I have 2 pairs of gloves. Something I've been trying lately is using different gloves. This one has a nice grip on it, but it's lighter, so it feels like a cut can happen, but it's supposed to be protecting against cuts. This one is more heavy duty. It feels like when you wear this one, you're protected from getting cut. So this one, when I need to do things fast with my hands, I use this one. This one for heavier items, handling heavier items, and handling items that can be pretty sharp. And the little yellow thing here is a little belt clip that you can put on a loop in your pants. You clip it to the belt loop in your pants, and you can carry it around. You can clip whatever you want to it. You can clip gloves, you can clip the arm sleeves, and it's nice so you can have it. You don't have to dig somewhere to find it. It's just hanging from your belt loop. So there's all the and also the visor here. Supposedly, the safety glasses are protecting from getting poked by something in the eye, as the moving conveyor belts, which is things hang from the conveyor belt, so the safety glasses prevent getting poked in the eye. And the requirement to wear, where I work, in the area where I work, the requirement to wear a ball cap or any or visor is kind of like the first line of defense, so that if something is hanging and it's moving on the conveyor belt, if you're in the direct vicinity of it, it won't really hit your eye if you're wearing the cap. The bill of the cap protects, so the thing will hit the bill first before it hits your face. And the safety glasses are also worn, so all this protection, so people don't get hurt. Safety is really primary main focus at work. Ironically, I drive by my old work on the way to my new work, and one of the things that kind of motivates me is to do better where I'm at right now. Now I'm at my other place, which I may disclose more information about later. Right now I'm icing my right hand, to be followed by icing my left hand using this jar of water and ice cubes. This helps me mitigate some of the soreness and reduce some of the swelling that may have occurred, after a long day's work. And then the next day I wake up in the morning and there's a little bit of stiffness. It feels hard to extend my fingers all the way, and as the day goes on it gets better, but the ice therapy, I feel like it helps me recover better and quicker. It's 1:37 p.m. leaving the other place to drive to work. Here's a look of the route I take on the way to work. It's kind of scenic. The area is rural, farmland type. Looks like a crop field. It's 1:50 p.m. Just drove into the parking lot at the, quote, factory, and I used the numbers on the loading docks to remember where I parked each day, so at night I can figure out where my car is. I got my bag ready to go. Time to start the day. Clock in at 2 p.m. for an 8-hour shift. So it's 10:15 p.m. About to leave work. At the end of the day, my gloves, from all the sheet metal handling, the new condition of the gloves looks nowhere near that now. It looks so dirty and used, torn up and stuff. So it's 11:31 p.m. Returning back home, which I've been away from for nearly 12 hours, half a day basically. But I was also just sitting in the car for a little bit. I was actually in the parking garage for, I think, the last 30 minutes at 11:01 or something. Parked the car and I was working on doing some voiceovers for YouTube videos, which for me it's kind of like a side thing, a hobby basically. It's 12:27 a.m. Going to eat the second meal of the day for me. A rice bowl of various ingredients strewn together. A Michelina's TV dinner, chicken fried rice, cottage cheese, yogurt. Probably gonna watch some TV or maybe a video on my VHS player. One of my favorite shows back in the early 2000s, back when it was on the WB channel, Smallville.
You're really excited about your jello, or you're feeling a lot better.
Feel great, actually.
Yeah, your cut looks amazing.
Did you see the MRI machine? KO.
Yeah, do they know what happened?
I guess something interfered with the magnetic field. Must have hit the wrong machine, I guess. Sorry for ruining your day at the fair, too. Thanks for bringing me to the hospital.
Oh, I was happy to help.
Watch what my VHS player does when it approaches the end of the tape. It starts rewinding automatically. Very quickly, actually. So I finished all the food in front of me. Probably going to watch some Jeopardy on TV before going to sleep. In a way, it sort of serves as the bookend of my day because there's an episode at 11:30 in the morning, which is shortly after I wake up, and that's actually the newest episode, the newest season. And at 1:10 a.m., around 1:10 a.m., they air a rerun. Usually it's an older episode because it still has Alex Trebek as the host, which yesterday's episode did. But for some reason, the 1:10 a.m. episode today is featuring the newest guest hosts, and also you can tell it's a new episode because of the social distancing at each of the podiums right there.